when it comes into just not just having a brand new season, but the excitement behind the organization with Wemby, how's the not just the mood with the team, but how are coming into a new season? How are you feeling with maybe a new sense of energy with this organization?
Well, every season begins with tremendous excitement. You know, as we all know, nobody's lost any games. Everybody's a winner. Everybody's going to win the championship. You know, all that sort of thing. So it's an exciting time. You know, guys have been working all summer. They've been in the gym for the last 5-6 weeks, and they just want to get to the next step. You know, which is being coached and putting the team together and getting ready for the season. So it's a very exciting time. But it's like that every year. This isn't any different than any other year in that respect.
Coach, with a prospect as unique as Wemby, who we've seen kind of do a bit of everything, can you talk about the opportunity of either kind of scheming around him or the opportunity to just develop him and kind of push those skills forward?
Well, certainly we want to watch him develop, but it's the same with Devin or Keldon or Zach, everybody else. So we have two questions so far, and both involve Wemby, and I understand that. But there's a team out there. He's no different from anybody else. You know, he's got to develop and improve knowledge of the game and some of his skills, just like every other player. So, fortunately for us, he's very coachable. He's very intelligent, and you know that's already begun for him, even from the first day practicing for the summer league, just getting used to a different kind of game. So. We'll watch him probably for the next couple of weeks without saying too much of anything to him, just so we understand his idiosyncrasies and the way he plays the game, how his body works, all that sort of thing. You know, everybody else, we know their game. We know what they do, so we've got to do the same thing with him.
Thank you.
Coach Bob. This group of veterans in particular has been very vocal about wanting to be here, and you guys have brought in a lot of new veterans. For you, what makes this group so unique?
I don't know really how to answer how unique or not unique. Every year is a little bit different because of additions and subtractions, so we'll figure out that personality as we move forward.
Coach Paco Fuenzo here.
Okay.
Yes, your thoughts on the new training facility, the Victory Capital Performance Center, and also what kind of motivation does this bring to the team? Being in a new training facility, is that an additional spark for them?
Sure. It's an unbelievable building. You know, this one I think is 22 or 23 years old, and it looks brand new. You know, the players have always respected it. You know, the staff has really taken care of it. And, you know, it'll be the same way with the new facility, but with all the additions and all the spaces that are available in these modern times, make it, it's almost like a home. I was thinking about moving in. I don't know why I would leave and drive someplace else to go to sleep when I can do it there and then get up in the morning and I'm already at work. It's that kind of place. It's really a home. So they've been there once. We took them on a tour 4, 5, 6 days ago, something like that, and they were pretty awestruck.
And leaving this building, also a lot of memories from this building are going to be left here. What crosses your mind when you leave this building? Is it like leaving your house?
No, you know, most of the memories, you know, come from wins and losses, you know, and events on the road, on the bus, on the airplane, you know, when you're involved with the players on a more personal level. But here was just, you know, it was just mainly practice and development. But those memorable moments were probably away from here, down at the AT&T Center or, at, like I said, on the road. Yes, ma'am.
Coach, Devin has made a tremendous recovery post his injury last season. What are you most excited to see maybe new from him, and what should we expect different?
I think, he missed a good amount of time last year, and it really affected him in the sense that he went to work this summer and was very dedicated. His body is absolutely different than what you remember. He's much stronger. He's much more aggressive and physical. He's more confident. He wants to prove himself, both as a player and as a leader. He's been very vocal during the summer and demanding of his teammates, that sort of thing. So he's already taken some big steps.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about Zach and just his development last year and kind of what you saw over the summer and what you're looking for from him this year?
Zach's, he's a huge improvement and success story, mainly because being unavailable for 2 years, that's a long time. I mean, you'd all probably be rusty if you didn't do an interview or anything for 2 years, and then all of a sudden you got to do it. It's different when there are people trying to keep you from doing what you want to do. So he had a big uphill battle in that respect, and he won that battle. I can still remember a call I got from Mark Few, his coach at Gonzaga, who just told me I would never be sorry, that he's somebody we should be looking at, that we'd be very happy. And it took time because in the initial stages it was just all rehab. But you saw as the season went on, he became more and more confident. Now he shoots the three with confidence. It's a totally different mindset for him. He's one of our most, I'd say, nasty players. You got to have a little bit of nasty out on the court, and he naturally does that because of his competitiveness, his take no prisoner sort of attitude, and that's shown all during the summer. So we're very excited about him being on the court and playing a lot of minutes. Yeah, there's room for everybody to grow. I mean, I got to grow as a coach, so players don't really reach their limits that early. This is what's Kelton? Is he a senior in college this year or junior? I'm not sure which, but something like that. So he'll continue to improve his knowledge of the game, understanding time and score and all those sorts of things. But when he came, he wasn't a shooter, and now he can shoot the three very well. His emphasis this season will be trying to be a defender, to take pride in trying to stop somebody. Because last year on defense as a team, I think we were wanting.
Hi. Sorry to bring it back to Victor Wembanyama. You said he's going to watch for a couple of weeks. Can you say more about how you plan to use him either on preseason games and during the championship? He's going to play a lot, or what do you plan to do with him?
I have no idea.
Pop, with what you said earlier about this team being more than just Victor, do you think that message is going to be hard to convey with all the attention he's going to get to us than it will be to your team?
Knowing you all, nobody heard me say that.
Right. When do you think you're going to start to get annoyed by the Victor questions?
I already am.
Yeah. But do you? Is there?
It's okay. It's okay.
Is there a sense
of the deal.
Is there a sense of preparation for the guys for the whole Wemby media circus, or do you just kind of leave them to their own devices on that?
I think a little bit of both. We've talked about. I've talked to players individually and that sort of thing. But I think if we treat it like it's no big deal, and you all are going to do what you do, and fans are going to do what they do, But because I know the players and because he's got such high character and he's used to this, this isn't the first time that he's gotten attention. I think just handling it organically is better than making decisions ahead of time that we're going to do this and this and this and this and put everybody in boxes. Let's just roll with it and see what it's like. If there are people hanging on the top of the bus, then we got to get them off, that kind of thing. But short of that, we'll be okay.
I won't do that, I promise.
Pop, over here. Can you just talk about the greatness of Victor Wembanyama?
Why don't we do that one-on-one?
Hey, there have been times in this building on Media Day where it was championship or bust, and then last year you said it was about developing these guys until you can pass them on to the next guy. You just wanted to make them pros.
Right.
After the draft of a certain player, does that change the expectations going forward? What would reasonable expectations be for this season?
As you well know, even when we were set to compete for championships, we never talked about wins, losses, playoffs. The only statement I ever made was we want to be the best team we can be by playoff time. So I don't talk about expectations with them. It's pretty inherently obvious that we want to win. These guys wouldn't be at this level if they weren't winners, that kind of thing. So I don't think I need to beat them over the head with we're going to have this goal and this goal and this goal and this goal like the books talk about. Let's just go play our ass off. Let's compete, obey the basketball gods, respect and love each other, and we'll see where we go. But this might be an answer you like better. Development is great, and all those guys needed it, and they've made some big jumps. Even though there weren't a ton of wins, even in the losses, there were some great moments and some real competitiveness on the part of a lot of those guys. And, of course, when you add a player with Victor's abilities, your prospects look better. But this year, with development, I think one of the important factors to enhance that development is winning. So winning is as important this year as learning was in the past. So they got to continue to learn, but adding more wins, I think, is appropriate, mandatory, helpful.
Is it fair to assume that winning wasn't really that important last year?
Coach,
I'm the funny guy, not you.
Coach, and just complimenting on last year's.
Where are we?
Over here.
Yes, sir.
Again, last year's media day, you said don't go crazy in Vegas. Should we this year?
Don't go crazy in Vegas. I don't know when I said that. I don't know why I said it. I never know why I say anything. So I can't. Oh, that's what he means. I don't talk about betting. There's no such thing in my vocabulary.
What do you see as over by Don, the next development step for Jeremy Sochan? Like and how he fits into the puzzle you're putting together?
If you or anyone in here can help me with that, I'd be appreciative, because he can play 1 through 4, and depending on circumstances and who we're playing, injuries, that sort of thing, I can see him going to the 5 position and us playing small. He's that kind of, he's like a utility infielder in baseball. They still have that? Maybe they don't have that anymore. But the sky's the limit for him. He's so competitive. He handles the ball. He's one of our best passers. What is he, 6'8", something like that? So he can find people. He's really going to be important in creating pace for us, that up-tempo style that we did so much better last year. So he's going to be very, very fun to watch.
Thank guess semi-related, how do you feel about the group of point guards you have outside of Trey Jones? Is that a group you kind of have to find out about?
Yeah, training camp's going to be really important for us as coaches to see how we think it fits. Is Wemby going to be a 5? Is he going to be a 4? Is he going to be a 3? Is he going to play alongside Zach? You going to put him in the post? Not. Is he a perimeter player? What is he? Who's he fit best with out there? What should the rotations be? A lot of really cool questions that we'll get to answer. Yes.
Do you think have you changed in the way you coach teams and players through the years, through the time?
Change the way I coach?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean, some things will be exactly the same as they've been for 20-some years because those are the basics, and you don't want to skip those steps. Other things change depending on the player, figuring out what buttons to push, tweaks in the offense, additions to the defense or the offense. There are always some changes, but the way I develop relationships with the players will be the same.
Pop to your left. Because of Victor, because of the new facility, have you sensed any new or heightened sense of excitement with some of the veteran guys coming back into this season, maybe more so than in a normal year?
Well, I would think so. I mean, you look around and you see somebody like that, that person has the ability to make your team more successful. So, of course, they're humans. They see that. But we've got other guys coming in that haven't been here before, and a couple of guys that came at the end of last season, Julian and Sandro, for instance, that we're all excited about because they've done such a good job. So it'll be a interesting camp and a lot deeper team. When I look down the bench, there are a whole lot more possibilities at both ends of the floors that I can deal with.
Coach, what excites you about the internal growth of this team as they, sort of learn how to play with each other a little bit more from last year to this year? Is there anything that you've seen that, kind of gets you going as a coach?
Well, I don't need a whole lot to get me going, but if I have to think of something for the thesis that you're writing about what excites me, I would say just their attitude, coming in, their aggressiveness, the way they've worked all summer. It might sound trite, but they have been physical, they've demanded of each other, they've been consistent, and that attitude has really been infectious for everybody.
Morning, Coach.
Okay.
Robin Grumman, Agence France Presse. How much did Victor Wembanyama adapt to his new team and environment the past few weeks?
Brilliantly.
Coach, you talked about how critical training camp is going to be for you guys as coaches, the different buttons trying to press and trying people out at different positions. Compared to years of the past where you've had a lot of the same core coming back, where does this training camp for you as coaches now in year 27, 28, does it provide a new challenge for you that you haven't seen in any of the previous years?
I think it's different in the sense that there are more pieces that we have to put together to figure out what the whole is going to be. As you said, we always had a core, and we would fit everyone else around that, whether they were new or just 1 or 2 year players. Now we have a lot of young players, but we're not exactly sure at the moment how they're going to fit, what the rotations should be, who should start or come off the bench. So that makes it a little bit different than in the past.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
Back here in the back. When a player like Wemby enters the NBA, and I'm sure you saw it with Tim.
Are you reading that off a card?
Off of my phone a little bit. the city quickly embraces them. What do you think a player like Wemby is going to do for the culture of the city overall, whether it's on the court or off?
Because he has great maturity for his age. He's a thinking person. He's highly intelligent. He's just a good man. So he hasn't had, nor will he have, any problem blending in and gaining the respect of his teammates or understanding our community and, you know, what responsibilities he has there. So I don't spend any moment whatsoever worrying about how he's going to blend in. Yeah, Tommy? You know, I don't really have any comments about who other people sign, but I'm sure many of us have had second chances in life.
Pop, you mentioned Keldon's expectations defensively this season. What did you see from him last year being thrust into such a large offensive role, particularly after DeJounte was traded? He kind of had to take a big leap.
Well, you're right, and he did. You know, his concentration was offense, and it served him well. You know, he really improved his skills and his confidence in what he can do. So he's not just a driver anymore, you know, like in the very beginning I would call him a bull in a china shop. And that's been pretty much put to bed because he's understood now what's needed at different moments in a game. And he looks at who's guarding him and who he can take advantage of and what's needed. So this year he's intent on becoming more of an all-around player.
Papa,
yes.
I'm not sure if my math is right on this, but if Wembanyama starts this year, that probably means that somebody who started last year won't. Have you had any discussion with some of those guys about possibly coming off the bench, and do you think whoever does that will handle it well?
I've had no such discussions with anyone. And if Manu Ginobili can come off the bench, anybody can, and I don't want to hear it. All right, take care. See you down the road.
Hello, everybody. Stefania Jimenez here. Thank you so much for watching KSAT's YouTube channel. Keep up to date with all of San Antonio's top news, weather, and so much more by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. And once again, thanks for watching KSAT.